I think it's a very nice way of showing climate change and also quite efficient way of telling a story.
It's impressive. I think it's real life showing that what climate change matters, because sometimes when you just negotiate at COP26 it becomes a technical issue. You think this is something scientific, but it's about human life, it's about our surroundings. So it's a very touching moment to come here to the exhibition.
I think it's really interesting and it makes you think a lot. It forces you to think, and that's very important, I think.
It ties in very well. You know, we're all concerned about the planet, and I think the pictures really shows, you know, what we need to take care of, really.
It's a kind of an amazing show in the sense that all the photography is really striking, but a lot of the messaging is quite hard. It's quite hard, isn't it? Like, you're looking around going, it's not an optimistic kind of message, is it? But you've got to kind of take something from that and kind of move into a mode of kind of going, okay, this kind of should move us to thinking differently. And I think we've got to all move into that kind of situation of going, we know this, we've seen this before, we've got to kind of move into doing something more positive.
I think the exhibition is great, it's very varied. I like some of the kind of really fairly industrial landscape stuff. I'm loving some of the just what looks like mixed media but which isn't. It just looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back and seeing it when actually there's hardly anyone here.
The fact that we can do it here in Glasgow with the Scottish collaborators is absolutely fantastic, and being the representative to the UK, I would obviously like to see a lot more of this kind of collaboration, not least with Scotland. I think there were a lot of comments tonight about from Nordic representatives feeling that Glasgow feels very Nordic, and that Scottish people also feel a special affinity to the Nordic countries, and I think that's definitely something we should be building on. I think we can do a lot more, not least in the cultural sector. So I'm looking forward to being part of more projects like this.
It's fantastic to see such a wide range of work that's all on the theme of the environment and climate change. Obviously it happening at the same time as COP26 just makes it, I guess, all more powerful, because you're already thinking about the issues because of what you're seeing in the news and stuff like that. So to see it visually in this form really adds another ingredient.
It's really powerful because it just sees how much the landscape's being decimated, and that we're not paying attention to how we're plundering it. So I think there's lots of really important messages from this exhibition, and with the whole COP26, let's hope all of these messages just really get people to think about their lifestyles and how they're living, and get everyone to actually make changes, small changes. And if everyone makes small changes, it's going to make a massive difference.
I actually really like the postcard, the Icelandic sort of like conceptual work, with like when you look at sort of like what is worth putting on a postcard and what's not. Like the everyday crisis is not worth putting on a postcard, but when it's like spectacular, it's on a postcard.
Well, I'm from the Finnish Institute, so of course I found the works of Lasse Lecklin from Finland very interesting. I wish that we can resolve the huge issues with climate change, and that the governments are able to negotiate together a good solution for our future and our kids' future. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
I think it gives hope, because when you see I was touched also by the artists, how they interpret. They say we have to change the language. We shouldn't talk about climate change. I shouldn't be called climate change ambassador. I should be called climate crisis ambassador. So I think it's touching to see how artists frame the world where we live and what's surrounded.
To be honest, I think it's amazing that we are able to sort of conceptualize some of the things that are going on at COP26, and sometimes when you're sitting with the negotiations, I think this is really what's needed, that you go and see what is actually happening to the planet. And it's quite amazing to see these pictures from around the world, and it kind of echoes what goes on out in the exhibition center.
I hope many countries will agree on the fact that we need to do a lot for the situation for the climate, and that we should also, those countries who are well off should help the rest of the world to adapt to the new situation.